On today's episode of Empowering Women in Real Estate, the podcast, we're going to be talking about gratitude.
Hi, I'm Karen Cooper, a wife, mom of three, real estate broker, team owner, and founder of Empowering Women in Real Estate. As a realtor, I've personally helped well over 700 families in my career, and now I help thousands of women from all across the country balance real life and real estate through daily inspiration, motivation, and actionable plans to increase their success. Listen in as I share stories and tips from my life and business and interview some of my favorite people.
Hi there. I'm glad you're here for today's episode. This is our annual gratitude episode every year for, I don't know how many years, maybe as many years as I've had the podcast, which I think is 5 years. Yeah, 5 years at this point. More than five, maybe six. Anyway, every year at this time, the day before Thanksgiving is when this episode airs. I share things I'm grateful for. And gratitude is one of those things that is so simple, but solves a lot of the issues that we have in our life. When you feel grateful, gratitude, it's like the gateway to joy. If you're feeling anxious, like you can't, and I know this because I am an anxious person. I heard this, I think, from Brene Brown, and I found this to be true. You cannot feel gratitude and anxiety at the same time. And so, gratitude is, Oprah would talk about having a gratitude practice. Like it's something that so many of us do. And if you don't have a practice for gratitude, if you don't take time to think about what you're grateful for, it can be just the tiniest of things. Like it can truly change your life. And let me share with you a little exercise that we did at our team advance this year, which I have completely stolen and am now using in so many different places and in so many different ways. But back in October last month, we always do a 2-day event. Like, right, the first day is our big Empowering Women in Real Estate conference. We have women from all over. We have 160 women who attended this year from, as far away as Alaska, came all the way to Northern Virginia for the conference. And then the next day, we basically do a second conference. It's our team advance, and it's just for my Platinum Group real estate team. And we typically our tradition has been to have a special speaker. And often it's someone who spoke at the conference will then come and do a special private training or presentation for us. And so this year we had Jerica Contos, who is amazing. She's a coach with Ops Boss Coaching. And her theme for the team advance was finish your year strong. And so we spent the afternoon, we used the Power Sheets Goal Planner, which I'm a huge fan of, and we did the work together and we mapped out our 90 days and, finishing the year strong. And so the morning was Jerica. And so Jerica, knowing what we were doing in the afternoon, put together something that she called Reflection to Reality. And it was such a powerful, she had multiple exercises that she had us do. And it was just such a powerful conversation and presentation. And I want to share with you the very first exercise that she had us do was so simple. I'm really going the long way around to get to gratitude, but it will change your perspective. And so what she had us do is she had us write one word at the top of the page about how we were feeling. And then people would share, a lot of people were saying they felt tired, they felt overwhelmed, they were feeling anxious, lots of things going on. And then she had us do two things, which literally took 3 minutes. List 5 things you're grateful for, and then list 5 opportunities that you have today. And then when that was done, she asked us to write another word, a single word at the bottom of the page about how we feel. And every single woman in the room had a different word after answering those 2 quick questions. The words were things like grateful, happy, peaceful, joyful. And that just goes to show you the power of a little bit of gratitude and focusing on gratitude. And so today, what am I grateful for? I am grateful for a lot of things. In today's episode, I certainly have shared a lot of similar things in terms of what I'm grateful for over the years. Obviously, I'm grateful for my health. I am grateful for my husband, for my children, for my work, for my real estate team, for you guys being here listening, for our Empowering Women in Real Estate community. We have more than 40,000 women in that community this year. And of all the things that I have said that I am grateful for, the thing that I have never been grateful for is myself. And that has changed this year. And I've said to more than one person that I have felt happier this year than I have felt in years. In many, many years. Like I feel like I got my groove back. I don't know if you saw, and I actually saved it. I did a whole series of stories about this not that long ago on my Instagram. I'm at karen.w.cooper, and it's saved as a highlight on my profile. And I didn't know what to call it. So it's saved with just a heart emoji. And I talk about this a little bit. I found me again this year, and I am so grateful for that. And there's a lot of reasons why. My word for this year was worthy. And I've been doing a lot of work around that word and a lot of focus around that word. And that has really been helpful. But, my husband has been on a journey for him, it's been over a year now with meditation. He's been following the work of Dr. Joe Dispenza, and in fact, while I'm recording this for you right now, he is doing meditation. And, it has changed his life, and it has changed so many things. And so there's a lot of things there that we have been, following his lead and what he's been doing, what I've been doing. We've attended church every Sunday this year. I have been reading, a Bible devotional and verses every day this year. There's a lot of different things that I have done that have really helped me to find me again. I went through, and I think a lot of us go through this in midlife. You go through some really hard times. And I feel like my 40s were just a disaster. And it took a long time, I'm 52 now. It took a long time to recover, honestly, from a lot of the things that happened, with my health, 10 surgeries, 30 radiation treatments, caring for children while also caring for ailing parents, my mom, my mother-in-law, my father. We had a lot of significant losses in the family. And, all of that stuff, it just, it compounds, and it eats at you. And I spent probably, a good part of the last several years, maybe many years, depressed, really just depressed and unhappy. And it wouldn't look like it on the outside. Social media is always pretty, right? It's always a highlight reel. Those of you who are part of our Empowering Women in Real Estate community on Facebook, I write in there 5 to 7 times a week. I have for more than 11 years since the group started. And so you've probably seen little glimpses, saw little glimpses of it there. But it was a really hard season, and I lost in taking care of all the things, my family, my children, my business, my clients, my team, in caring for everyone. I was nowhere on the list. And the problem is, we think that we are doing the right thing by not putting us on the list because we care so much for so many people and we want to do good by them. So we don't, we say yes to things that we don't really want to say yes to because we want somebody else to feel good. And we don't take the time to go for a walk so that we can, get to our desk and work a little bit sooner. And we don't set any boundary in place, and we're on the phone with clients at 8, 9, 10, 11 o'clock at night. And then we can't sleep because we're amped up from the stress and the worry. And, all of that compounds. It compounds over time. And then what happens is you burn yourself out to such a degree that you're no good to anybody anymore. So if you really care about the people in your life, and if you really care about doing a good job, and if you really care about, serving your clients and your family and your, whoever the important people in your life are well, then you will take care of yourself first. That has been my big lesson. And, that doesn't mean it sounds so selfish. Doesn't it sound selfish? I think a lot of us, we were taught to be, to be good and to be nice and to, to give into others and to give what they need and provide what they need. But really, when we don't take care of ourselves, we're making that so much harder. And sometimes we can't do it. And then we hit a wall and a point where we just literally can't do it anymore. And I was really there. And it was sad because I've been in business for 23 years and I have loved my real estate career. Loved it. I have loved so much of it. And the last, couple of years, 3, 4 years, I hated it. I really hated it. And I didn't think that I would ever love it again. And that made me so sad. I did not think that I would love my work again. And I learned a lot of things this year that has helped me to love my work again. And, a lot of these things I really share in the Midlife Real Estate Blueprint. Like, that is almost like the blueprint, the roadmap for the path that I have taken to get to where I'm feeling now in my life, my business. So much of it is there. You can hear all about it, learn all about it on our website, empoweringwomeninrealestate.com. And when you're listening to this, our self-paced edition might have launched. I'm not sure. And we do have another live group that's going to be starting in January. But I'll share a few of the things here that I share, that I go really deep in there, of what has really helped me this year. And so one of those is letting go of guilt. For years, I have been dominated by guilt. I would have boundaries, I would put boundaries in place, but I felt guilty every time I did. And I felt bad every time I did. And it made me angry. And it made me not nice all the time. And part of it was just that guilt. And so I've just let go of that. I've let go, and again, we talk about, I think I talked about it last week or a couple weeks ago, when I was talking about the email management system. Like, it's the 80-20 rule, right? If I can hit this 80% of the time and I can let go of guilt 80% of the time, then I feel like I've won. That's kind of the goal. And so letting go of guilt has been a big thing. 6 years ago, when I began shifting away from serving clients myself, but still producing a high level of volume and income, I wish there had been a model or a blueprint to follow. And that's why I've created the Midlife Real Estate Blueprint. It's the next step for experienced women in real estate who want to keep the income and change the way they work. Inside this program, you'll redesign your role, install simple, repeatable systems, and create margin for what matters to you while staying highly productive. We have 2 programs now available, a 5-week live program with coaching and community, or a self-paced edition that you can start anytime. When you're ready, visit empoweringwomeninrealestate.com and click on Midlife Real Estate Blueprint. Prioritizing me and taking care of me has been huge for me. And so part of that has been restructuring my work, my schedule, to accommodate that. I have come to learn that I really love a long, slow, luxurious morning. I love to write in the group. I have a couple little work things that are my routine that I do in the morning. And then I want to sit on the porch for as long as I can until it gets too cold with my coffee and watch the sunrise and read my devotional and do my journaling and, read the daily verse in my Bible app and do those things. And I want to do those things and not feel rushed. I want to go for a walk. I want to walk my dog. And if, we do a mile every day, and on the days that we're feeling it and the weather is beautiful, we walk for 2. And then I want to come back and I want to sit down. I want to make myself breakfast and I want to sit down at the table and eat my breakfast before I get ready for my day. And so I realized that in order to do all those things that I want to do, I have to delay my work start. And so I've done that. It's taken a while, but I have adjusted the time frame for everything that I do to accommodate that. And I won't schedule anything before 10:30 because that time is so important and so precious to me. And just having that time, like I'm excited to get up in the morning again. That was one of the things I always loved about my work is every morning I would be so excited to get up in the morning because I'd be so excited to work. And I would be so excited. Who am I going to meet? Who am I going to connect with? What am I going to do today? What am I going to do to move the mission forward? Like, I would be so excited. When I would go on vacation, of course, I would love vacation and I would love being away with my family, but I would actually look forward to coming back because I would be so excited to get back to work. And I lost that. I lost that for years. And I didn't think I'd get it back. And I have it back. And part of having it back is giving myself the gift of that morning. And it allows me to fill my cup first. Think about what we do all day in our business. All day we are pouring out. We are giving and pouring out literally all day long to everyone. Our clients, our colleagues, if you're a team leader, your team, my children, my husband, family members, like you're pouring out all day long. And so by taking that time in the morning, that time is what fills me back up so that I know that I have what I need to really give throughout the day. That's been huge for me. I've been embracing more the things that I love unapologetically. I love the seasons. Like, I love a theme. When I was growing up, my mom would decorate for every holiday, and it just felt so special. And so I do the same thing. And I have sweatshirts for practically every season, and I have pajamas. I have Halloween pajamas and Christmas pajamas and New Year's pajamas, and it just makes me happy. It's such a little thing that seems like it would be silly, but it just brings me so much joy. Decorating my home, drinking my coffee out of a seasonal mug, like all of those things just bring me happiness. And so I've really leaned into that. I love clothes. I have always loved clothes since I was a little girl. Like, my mom loved clothes, my aunt, my grandmother, and every time I had like a special event or an occasion or something that we went to, it was a big deal. We would go to the store. You had to make sure you had the right dress and the right earrings and, the right shoes and, maybe a new purse. And like, those were some of my fondest memories. And I would love when my dad, sometimes people at work, there was a family that had a daughter that was a little bit older than me, and from time to time they would send home bags after bags of hand-me-downs, and I adored that. I loved going through the bags and seeing what I liked and seeing what fit, and like I've always loved that. I've loved I had Pinterest boards that I've had for, I don't know, as long as I've had Pinterest. How long is that? 15 years that are outfit inspiration. It's a private board. I don't let anybody see it, but I love to scroll Pinterest for outfits. I scroll Pinterest for two things: quotes for empowering women in real estate and outfit inspiration. And I have a whole board where I pin the outfits that inspire me, and then I will, make it from whatever I have in my closet. Like, I love that. So, you know what I've started doing? I've started sharing my clothes. I've started sharing my outfits. And it's amazing the conversations that I've had. In fact, my friend Andrea Bowie, who's an amazing agent and team leader in Iowa, she recently did a cute story where she did the same thing. And she's like, I'm channeling my inner Karen Cooper or whatever, which was so cute. And so I'm leaning into that. I'm leaning more into just what I enjoy and what brings me joy, and sharing it unapologetically. Because the thing is, you're never the only one. There's always other people that love the same thing, that enjoy the same thing. So why not connect with them? And it gives you other ways to connect. I have really fully this year been saying yes to what fills my cup. I say no to a lot of things. And I think that certainly I know that I have developed a reputation for saying no to everything when it comes to events and local events and things like that. And honestly and truly, I say no a lot. One, because I just don't have a lot of time. There's a lot of things going on. And two, the speakers and the agenda and the topics, while they're excellent, I rarely ever find that they reflect where I am in my career. And so one thing that I have been doing is I have been keeping my eyes open and been more intentional in seeking out things that are reflective of where I am. And there were two examples this year of events that one I found on my own, one someone told me about. And as soon as I saw the agenda, it was an immediate yes, an immediate yes. And I happily sat all day long and took pages and pages and pages of notes. So it's just, you have to, like, if you say yes to everything, nothing special, right? And so just being really selective about what I'm looking for and what I'm seeking to learn. This year I launched the Midlife Real Estate Blueprint, which I already talked about a little bit. And that was an idea that really came to me in the summer. And in fact, I've had many people who have mentioned about the content change that, I've kind of had an adjustment with my content around it and how much it resonates with them too. And so the idea of this program really kind of came to me because when I started shifting in my real estate sales business 6 years ago, I don't serve clients myself personally anymore. I generate a lot of business, but I don't serve it. I refer it all out. I wish I had a roadmap for it. I wish I had a blueprint for it. Nobody teaches you how to do that. And I built out this program really kind of based on that. And we launched it. We had our very first live cohort in September, and it was so life-giving. And I feel like I roll my eyes when people say life-giving, but it was, it really was. And the women who participated, there were 22, 23, I think, of us, and maybe a little more than that, 29. Those of us who participated in the program, we had great conversations. And, our Facebook group is still active, and, people are sharing things, and it was just so good. And I can't tell you how happy that made me to be able to create something that is truly reflective of where I am and to teach something that I wish somebody else had taught me, but teach something that I have learned that I'm passionate about and other people are wanting. Like, it's just felt so good. And so that has been a part of that. So, I could go on and on. Classically, this episode is meant to be a short little episode for you right before the holidays. But, as you can hear, it's been quite a year. I've had quite a year. And, I distinctly remember, and don't get any of it wrong. Like, there's been a lot of hard this year too. And I've struggled with my mindset, and I've struggled with depression, and I've struggled with, just a lot of different things, anxiety attacks and, all that stuff. But for the most part, the 80-20 rule, right? 80% really, really, really good. And I am just so grateful for that. I remember entering the year. I always take time at the end of each year to to reflect, to work on my goals, to really think about what I want. And I remember as I was moving into this year, almost feeling dread and fear and, just not good things. And I'm so thankful to be where I am right now. And I've been around enough and I've had enough things happen in my life to know that the bad times don't last and the good times don't either, right? It is a constant journey of up and down and up and down. And how you can approach it when you can find gratitude in the littlest of things, when you can find joy in the littlest of things, it just changes everything. So there we are. So I am grateful. I am grateful for, grateful for all the women who have come alongside me to grow their businesses together as part of our team. I'm grateful for everyone who is a part of our Empowering Women in Real Estate Inner Circle and our Facebook group. We have such an amazing community there. I'm grateful for all of you. I'm grateful for our listeners. Like it's truly not lost on me that you are taking time out of your day to listen. And that really means a lot. So I am grateful. I'm grateful for you. And I hope that you can find some gratitude and focus on some things that you are grateful for too. And so if you are listening to this on the day that it is released, I wish you a very happy Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving is tomorrow. And until next time, stay well.
Thank you for listening to Empowering Women in Real Estate, the podcast. Click subscribe to be notified every Wednesday when our latest episode is released, and be sure to check out our group on Facebook.